Austin Mcbroom is speaking out in a new video to address everything that went down at the fight this past weekend, where he got knocked out, losing to Gibb, after having talked all that smack about him and hyping himself up as this amazing boxer. In this video he posted on the Ace Family channel, he talked about what it was like losing, his future plans, and addressing some of the rumors that have been going around. I will say, towards the beginning of the video, he told this story that I thought was pretty funny, and probably because it humbled him even more than losing the fight. He said that when he got to the hospital, so he confirmed that he did have to go to the hospital after the fight, but he said once he was there, some of the people that worked there, like the doctors and the nurses, were Ace Family fans, and they knew who he was, and they asked him, Austin, what happened? And he was like shocked that they didn't know. He literally thought they had the audacity to ask him what happened, as if these doctors and nurses that he literally just said were working at the hospital would take the time out of their shift to watch his fight.
I got a funny story to tell you guys. Last night when I got to the hospital, there was a few doctors, a few nurses that knew who I was. A few of them were part of the Ace family, and they had the nerve to ask me, Austin, what happened? Oh man. And all I could do was laugh. Like, that's all I could do. And I was like, you guys didn't see it? Like, they were like, no, what happened? I'm like, just go watch it.
Like, wait, you just said they were working. Why would they skip a paycheck to watch you fight? I am just confused. Like, did you expect every single one of your fans to keep tabs on you at all times? Maybe this is one of his biggest faults, thinking every fan is going to drop everything to pay attention to him, because he seemed real butthurt that these doctors and nurses couldn't drop everything to watch his fight and didn't know what happened to him. But this mentality definitely makes sense as to why he definitely thinks that he can put on really big events at really big places, because he thinks Ace family members are going to come through for him. But maybe, just maybe, this whole thing will have him thinking a little differently about that. But he goes on to say that he felt like this night needed to happen for a reason. It was meant to be. This outcome was meant to be. Even though he really wanted to win because he hates losing, he goes on to name the multiple reasons in which he feels like this night needed to happen. One of which he said is Catherine not being happy about him boxing. He says that they're such loving and caring people, which is a little funny to me, stating that they literally scammed fans who bought Ace Fest VIP tickets into thinking that they would get to watch this fight for free, when they just ghosted everyone, gave no free links, no free codes, nothing like that. If you wanted to watch the fight, you had to pay, even though they promised that in the little promises they made to the VIP pass holders. But anyway, he's over here trying to paint this picture that him and Catherine are just such good, kind-hearted people, and that him boxing and fighting is so out of character for him, because they're just like so kind and caring, and they just like would never hurt other people.
But Catherine, she hasn't been happy about me boxing. Even for me, we're both such loving and caring people that, you know, we don't have anybody in our family that's ever, you know, boxed before, that's been in the sport, and that she's used to. Like, she's never even watched boxing before.
So that's his little mentality. I'm pretty sure that it's, you know, a sport, and doesn't actually mean that people that participate in boxing are violent or bad people if they participate, but kind of sounded like that's what he was saying. But he goes on to say that it's not fun to watch your partner get beat up, beat people up, and this whole thing has been super hard on Catherine, and in turn it has been very hard on him because of the fact that she isn't happy watching him do all this stuff.
Seeing your significant other fighting someone, you know, punching somebody and them getting punched on, like it's not a good feeling, especially for a woman, and that's been weighing on me, that Catherine hasn't been happy.
which with all the rumors about him and his life outside of their home when he's not with Catherine, this is very interesting for him to say that, you know, it's been hard on him because he knows Catherine's not happy. Like, I'm sure she's not happy about some other things too, but, you know, anyway. He goes on to say that this has been something he has really liked and he really enjoys boxing, but it took him losing this weekend to really see that Catherine does not like this, and he really didn't realize it for real. Like, he didn't take that seriously until this past weekend. Probably because she had to see him get hurt and really hurt. Like, he ended up in the hospital, and to put her through watching him be hurt in that way, he probably realized like, oh dang, like, you know, this is her biggest fear, seeing me in the hospital. We have 3 kids. And I should probably be taking her more seriously when she says that, you know, this is something that we need to consider for our family if we really want to continue with you doing this, putting yourself in harm's way, because there are dangers that come with fighting like this. He says that if he had won, he would have continued super aggressively. He wouldn't have taken a break because he just would have wanted to be super in it. He would have wanted so badly to continue fighting, just one right after another. Like, let's line them up. He would have been on such a high of winning and just would have definitely been super full of himself, thinking, I'm the man. I got 2 fights in me. Like, let's stack them up. I'm ready to go. He probably would have been so annoying to KSI, Jake Paul, thinking, let's go. I definitely see that because before he even lost to Gib, he was already saying to KSI that Gib is nothing. He's not even a hard competitor. KSI, let's get in the ring. Jake Paul, you know, you guys are ducking me, all this stuff. And now he is eating those words because he lost. He says that not only would he have just been super aggressive about boxing, but it also would have taken him away from his family, and, you know, this rift between him and Catherine just would have gotten bigger and bigger because she doesn't like this and he would have been just way too into it. And he goes on to say that boxing is taken away from their YouTube channel as well.
For a little while now, our content has been dry. We haven't been consistent, and that showed. And that's obviously because all our energy was into this boxing. Obviously me physically, but also Catherine mentally.
I do want to say that I don't think that's the sole reason it's been dry. I think all the things they've done business-wise and things they've tried to cover up, lie about, and get away with caught up to them, and people have been tired of them acting like they're so much better than everyone else and they're so great and so amazing, and they're, you know, gonna come out with this amazing product and they love their fans so much, and this next event, that next event is going to be amazing, sold out, selling out, you guys, we love you, Ace family, all of that stuff that they talk about all the time. Like, people have been able to see through that, and I think that truly showed in their channel views and the people who've unsubscribed, and definitely with the amount of people that have been showing up to their events. It's been very clear that they are not as big as they once were, and I do think it's because they have lost time and time again, and fans have learned their lesson and they're tired. And I think him losing this past weekend, and not only just losing, but losing in front of a barely filled crowd in a massive stadium, probably also humbled him, and probably and hopefully made him think that, dang, I need to at least try and keep the fans that I have left. He says he wants to now take a break from fighting and focus on their YouTube channel, which is interesting. They're probably going to be throwing out that idea that they are going to be quitting, because they tried to say that they were gonna maybe be quitting, like this was gonna be their last year doing YouTube consistently, and I think that is going out the window. They're definitely going to be staying on YouTube.
I'm not gonna say that I won't ever step back into the ring again, because I'm just too competitive. Like, I'm gonna eventually get back in the ring, but physically, as of right now, I do need to take a break. I do want to spend time with my family. I do want to take a trip. I do want to go on vacation.
But also, it's interesting to hear him admit the channel is lacking these days, because I feel like these two never want to admit faults, and hopefully he truly does want to change things for the channel. But their track record of coming through for their fans isn't that great. I would hope humbling him changed him, but also it shouldn't have taken that to change. But is that change even really coming? I would have thought all the lawsuits would have changed their minds about how they do business and things, but it sounds like it actually took a whack to the head.
But we, not just me, but me and Catherine also want to get back to the old Ace family and get back to us being vulnerable again, because I feel like that's what you guys want and that's what you guys need from us, is stuff like this. And that's how we used to be at the very beginning.
Towards the end of the video, he did thank people on his team, his dad, Catherine, and people at the event, and acknowledges that not all his family fans actually supported him in boxing, and that he understands that it was kind of confusing for people.
Ace family, obviously love you guys to the end, for always supporting it. I know you guys, a lot of you 100% didn't support it either. I could tell. A lot of you were confused by it, but you were just like, hey, whatever Austin wants to do, I'm rocking with him. And that means so much to me as well.
And what's even more interesting is that he says his company is still going to put on events. Social Gloves is going to do them with or without him. And that's just a whole situation in my mind.
You know, even though, like I said, I'm not going to be jumping back in the ring anytime soon, that doesn't mean that Social Gloves won't have another event. We will be having another one, just not with me on the card fighting. I believe that the Social Gloves platform is a blessing because it, you know, gives guys purpose again. I believe, and this is why I created the platform, I believe that we are a platform to be able to give guys, not only to put food on people's plates, but to give guys opportunities.
Interesting how he's talking so highly about a company that was sued for not being able to pay what was promised to the fighters and people that worked the event last time. He also wanted to come out and say that any numbers of anything being said by people that were there and anything like that, don't believe it, because numbers haven't come back to him, and don't believe what the haters and the media are saying, because he and his company are the only people that know the real numbers of, you know, the amount of people that watched the stream, the amount of people that showed up in the stadium, which I don't know if I even need to know the real numbers. The visuals tell me enough. The people videoing at the event was enough for me to know it did not sell out.
And then lastly, for those of you who, I'm not sure if any numbers or anything has came out, because I haven't really been on my phone like that, but if there are any numbers that arise or come out, that people try to create a narrative on how the event did, all I could say is the only people that know the real numbers are Social Gloves, myself, and Stream Online. So please don't believe what, you know, the media or people try to portray and tell you guys, because it's not true.
Literally, I could look at the live stream and see that it was not filled. It was not filled up.
It takes a little minute for the numbers to all come through.
Sure, Austin, sure. Anyway, that's what Austin had to say following the fight. There's a ton of comments on the video saying they certainly wanted to see him come back down to earth and be humbled after everything that happened, and they're surprised he even sat down to film a video like this, so he's getting some props here. But him and Catherine saying nothing about the promises that they made about watching the fight for free to people that purchased Ace Festival VIP passes. Interesting. Very interesting. Especially when most of this video is about him and Catherine getting back to their roots and being loyal to their fans again. Like, okay, sure. Just making me think that they're still the same way they've always been, avoiding problems. This was just so public, he couldn't hide from it, so he had to address the fight. Just like their house foreclosure, they had to come out and say something eventually because they were going to be moving. I feel like they only address things that have to be addressed. But that's what's been going on with Austin since the fight. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I love you guys so much, and I will talk to you in the next video. Bye, guys.